Most people work 40 years and still retire broke. And I'm going to show you exactly why and how to make sure that never happens to you. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the one skill that schools never taught you but should have: how to actually manage your money. The harsh truth about money nobody tells you. Let's start with something uncomfortable. The majority of people, no matter how much they earn, never build real wealth. A doctor earning $200,000 a year can be just as broke as someone earning $30,000. And the reason isn't income. The reason is behavior. Here's the truth. Managing money has nothing to do with how much you make. It has everything to do with what you do with what you make. That's the foundation of everything we're going to talk about today. Think about this. The average person spends more time planning a vacation than planning their financial future. We research hotels, compare flight prices, read reviews for hours. But when it comes to our money, our savings, our future, we just wing it. And that's exactly why most people feel financially stressed, overwhelmed, and stuck. Now here's where it gets interesting. Building wealth is not about being a genius. It's not about getting lucky in the stock market. It's not about having rich parents. It is about learning a simple set of habits and systems, and then repeating them consistently over time. In this video, we're going to break all of that down step by step. By the time you finish watching, you will have a clear, practical roadmap for how to save smarter, spend with intention, and invest in your future, even if you're starting from zero today. So stay with me, because what comes next could genuinely change the way you think about money forever. Understanding where your money actually goes. Before you can manage your money, you need to understand one critical thing. Where is your money actually going right now? Most people have absolutely no idea. They get paid, they spend, and somehow by the end of the month, there's nothing left. Sound familiar? This is called unconscious spending, and it is silently destroying your financial future every single month without you even realizing it. Here's a simple exercise I want you to try. Go back and look at your last 30 days of bank transactions. Every single purchase, every subscription, every coffee, every impulse buy. Write them all down and put them into categories: food, transport, entertainment, bills, shopping, and so on. What most people discover when they do this for the first time is shocking. They find subscriptions they completely forgot about. They find that they spent 3 times more on food than they thought. They find small daily purchases that seem harmless. A $5 coffee here, a $10 snack there. But when you add them up across the month, they become hundreds of dollars silently leaking out of your account. This is what financial experts call the latte factor. It's not about the coffee itself. It's about the pattern of small, unconsidered spending that adds up to massive amounts over time. $5 a day is $150 a month. That's $1,800 a year. That's money that could be working for you instead of disappearing without a trace. Now, tracking your spending is not about feeling guilty. It is about awareness. You cannot fix a problem you cannot see. And once you see exactly where your money is going, you gain the power to redirect it toward things that actually matter: your savings, your goals, your freedom. This awareness is the very first step toward taking real control of your financial life, building your first budget that actually works. Now that you know where your money is going, it's time to take the next step: building a budget. But here's the thing. Most people hear the word budget and immediately think of restriction, sacrifice, and saying no to everything fun. That is completely the wrong way to think about it. A budget is not a punishment. A budget is a plan. It is simply you deciding in advance where your money goes, instead of wondering where it went. It gives you control, clarity, and confidence every single month. Now, there are dozens of budgeting methods out there, but the one that works best for most people, especially beginners, is called the 50/30/20 rule. Let me break it down simply. You take your monthly income and divide it into 3 categories. 50% goes to your needs: rent, groceries, utilities, transportation, bills. These are the things you cannot live without. 30% goes to your wants: dining out, entertainment, shopping, hobbies. These are the things that make life enjoyable. And 20% goes to savings and debt repayment. This is the part that builds your future. This system works because it is simple, flexible, and realistic. It does not ask you to stop living your life. It just asks you to be intentional about how you live it. Now, if you look at your numbers and 50% is not enough to cover your needs, that is a signal. It means either your expenses are too high or your income needs to grow, and we will talk about both of those things later in this video. The most important part of any budget is not making it perfect. It is actually starting one. An imperfect budget that you follow is 1,000 times better than a perfect one that just sits in your notes app untouched. Start simple. Start today. Adjust as you go. That is how real financial progress begins. The emergency fund, your financial safety net. Now that you have a budget in place, the very next thing you need to build, before anything else, is an emergency fund. This is not optional. This is not something you do later when you have more money. This is the foundation that everything else in your financial life stands on. So what exactly is an emergency fund? It is a dedicated amount of money set aside specifically for unexpected situations. A sudden job loss, a medical emergency, your car breaking down, a major home repair. These things are not if situations. They are when situations. Life will throw something at you. The only question is whether you will be financially prepared when it does. Most financial experts recommend saving 3 to 6 months' worth of your living expenses in your emergency fund. So if your monthly expenses are $2,000, your emergency fund should be somewhere between $6,000 and $12,000. That number might feel overwhelming right now, and that is completely okay. You do not build it overnight. Here is how you start. Open a separate savings account, completely separate from your everyday spending account. This is important because if the money is easy to access, it is easy to spend. Then commit to putting a fixed amount into that account every single month, no matter what. Even if it is just $50 or $100 to start. Consistency matters far more than the amount. The reason this fund changes everything is simple. Without it, one unexpected expense can destroy months of financial progress. It forces you into debt, into panic, into bad financial decisions made under pressure. But with an emergency fund sitting there, you handle the situation calmly, you pay cash, and your financial plan stays completely on track. This one fund is the difference between a financial setback and a financial disaster. Destroying debt, the strategy that actually works. Now let's talk about something that is silently holding millions of people back from building real wealth. Debt. Credit card debt, student loans, car loans, personal loans. If you are carrying any form of debt right now, this part of the video is extremely important for you. Here is the hard truth about debt. Every single month that you carry a balance, interest is working against you. While wealthy people use compound interest to grow their money, people in debt are experiencing compound interest destroying their money. It is the same powerful force, just working in the opposite direction. So how do you get out? There are 2 proven strategies, and you need to pick the one that fits your personality. The first is called the avalanche method. You list all your debts from highest interest rate to lowest. You pay the minimum on everything except the one with the highest interest rate, and you throw every extra dollar you have at that one first. Once it is paid off, you move to the next highest. This method saves you the most money mathematically because you are eliminating the most expensive debt first. The second strategy is called the snowball method. You list your debts from smallest balance to largest. You attack the smallest one first regardless of interest rate. Once it is gone, you roll that payment into the next one. This method gives you quick wins and psychological momentum that keeps you motivated to keep going. Neither method is wrong. The best one is simply the one you will actually stick to. Some people need the math to work in their favor. Others need the emotional wins to stay motivated. Know yourself and choose accordingly. One more critical rule. While you are paying off debt, stop creating new debt. Cut the credit cards if you have to. The goal is to get to zero and stay there. The art of saving. How to make it automatic. Most people have the wrong idea about saving. They think saving means whatever is left over at the end of the month goes into savings. But here is the problem with that approach. There is almost never anything left over. Life fills up every empty dollar you give it. If you wait until the end of the month to save, you will be waiting forever. The people who successfully build wealth do the complete opposite. They save first and spend what is left. This is called paying yourself first, and it is one of the most powerful financial habits you will ever develop. Here is how it works in practice. The moment your salary hits your account, before you pay any bill, before you buy any groceries, before you do anything else, a fixed amount automatically transfers to your savings account. You never see it. You never touch it. You simply learn to live on what remains. And the key word there is automatic. Do not rely on willpower. Do not rely on remembering. Set up an automatic transfer with your bank that triggers on the same day your salary arrives. When saving becomes automatic, it becomes effortless. You remove the decision entirely, and the habit runs itself. Now, how much should you save? The 20% from our 50/30/20 budget is the target. But if that feels impossible right now, start with whatever you can, even 5%. The habit is more important than the amount in the beginning. Once the habit is locked in, you gradually increase the percentage over time. There is also something incredibly powerful that happens psychologically when you save first. You begin to see yourself as someone who is in control of their money. That identity shift changes how you make every future financial decision. You stop thinking like a spender and start thinking like a builder. That mental shift alone is worth more than any specific saving amount. Investing basics. Making your money work for you. So far we have talked about budgeting, saving, and eliminating debt. All of that is incredibly important. But here is something that most people never learn. Saving alone will never make you wealthy. Keeping your money in a savings account is safe, yes, but it is also slowly losing value every single year because of inflation. This is where investing comes in. And I know that word makes a lot of people nervous. They think investing is complicated, risky, and only for rich people or Wall Street professionals. But that is completely wrong. Investing is simply putting your money to work so that it grows on its own over time. Let me explain the most powerful concept in all of personal finance: compound interest. When you invest money, you earn returns on that money. Then those returns start earning returns of their own. And then those returns earn returns. It snowballs over time into something extraordinary. Here is a simple example. If you invest just $200 every month starting at age 25 with an average annual return of 8%, by the time you are 65 you will have over $700,000. You only contributed $96,000 of your own money. The rest, more than $600,000, was created entirely by compound interest working silently in the background for decades. Now, where should a beginner start investing? The simplest and most recommended starting point is index funds. An index fund is a type of investment that tracks the overall stock market. Instead of trying to pick individual winning stocks, which even professional investors struggle to do consistently, you simply invest in the entire market at once. Historically, the stock market has returned an average of 7 to 10% annually over long periods of time. The most important thing about investing is not timing the market perfectly. It is time in the market. Start early, stay consistent, and let compound interest do the heavy lifting for you. Smart spending. The difference between assets and liabilities. We have talked about saving and investing. Now let's talk about spending. Because spending is not the enemy. Mindless spending is the enemy. There is a massive difference between the two, and understanding that difference will completely transform how you make purchasing decisions for the rest of your life. One of the most important concepts ever introduced in personal finance comes from Robert Kiyosaki in his book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He made a distinction that sounds simple but is absolutely life-changing. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. And the secret to building wealth is spending your money on assets instead of liabilities. Let me make this real with examples. A rental property that generates monthly income, that is an asset. A stock portfolio that pays dividends, that is an asset. A business that runs and generates profit, that is an asset. Now on the other side, an expensive car that loses value the moment you drive it off the lot and costs you insurance, fuel, and maintenance every month, that is a liability. Designer clothes, luxury gadgets, and things you buy purely for status, liabilities. This does not mean you can never enjoy your money. It means you should build your asset column first, and then enjoy your wealth from the returns those assets generate. Rich people buy assets. Then they use the income from those assets to pay for their lifestyle. Average people buy liabilities first and wonder why they never get ahead. Here is a powerful question to ask yourself before every significant purchase. Is this taking money out of my future or putting money into it? That one question alone will save you thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Smart spending is not about being cheap. It is about being intentional. Every dollar you spend is a choice. Make sure your choices are building the life you actually want. Multiple income streams. Why one source is never enough. So far, everything we have discussed has been about managing the money you already have. But there is another side to this equation that most people completely ignore: increasing the amount of money coming in. Because here is the reality. There is a limit to how much you can cut expenses. You cannot budget your way to real wealth if your income stays the same forever. At some point, you have to grow what you earn. And the most powerful way to do that is by building multiple streams of income. Now, this does not mean you need to quit your job tomorrow and start 5 businesses. It simply means you stop relying on a single source of income as your only financial lifeline. Because one income stream means one point of failure. If that job disappears tomorrow, and in today's economy that can happen to anyone, your entire financial life is at risk. Statistics show that the average millionaire has not one, not two, but 7 different streams of income. Now, that number took years to build, but the mindset behind it starts on day one. So what are these income streams? Let me break them down. The first is your active income, your salary or wages from your primary job. This is where most people stop. But there are 6 more. Passive income from investments like dividends and index funds. Rental income from property. Business income from a side business or freelance work. Digital income from online products, courses, or content creation. Royalty income from creative work like books, music, or photography. And interest income from high-yield savings accounts or bonds. You do not need all 7 right now. Start by adding just one additional stream alongside your main job. Maybe you have a skill that people would pay for: writing, design, coding, teaching, photography. Turn that skill into a freelance service on the side. Even an extra few $100s a month invested consistently over years creates an enormous difference in your financial outcome. The goal is simple. Never let your financial future depend entirely on one single source. Financial goals: how to set them and actually achieve them. Everything we have covered so far: budgeting, saving, investing, spending wisely, building income streams. All of it means very little without one critical ingredient: direction. You need to know exactly where you are trying to go. Because managing money without clear financial goals is like driving at full speed with no destination in mind. You are moving, but you have no idea where you will end up. This is why setting financial goals is not just motivational advice. It is a practical necessity. Goals give your money a purpose. They give your sacrifices a reason. And they give you a way to measure whether what you are doing is actually working. Now, here is where most people go wrong with financial goals. They keep them vague. They say things like, "I want to save more money," or "I want to get out of debt someday," or "I want to be financially free." Those are wishes, not goals. A wish has no deadline, no specific number, and no clear plan attached to it. A real financial goal follows the SMART framework. It is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Instead of saying, "I want to save money," you say, "I will save $5,000 in the next 12 months by setting aside $417 every single month." That is a goal you can actually work with. You know exactly what you need to do every month, and you know exactly when you will get there. Break your goals into 3 categories. Short-term goals are things you want to achieve within 1 year: building your emergency fund, paying off a small debt, saving for a specific purchase. Medium-term goals are 1 to 5 years away: paying off all debt, saving a down payment for a house, reaching a specific investment milestone. Long-term goals are 5 years and beyond: retirement savings, complete financial independence, generational wealth. Write these goals down. Review them every single month. Track your progress consistently. Studies have proven that people who write down their goals and review them regularly are significantly more likely to achieve them than people who simply keep goals in their head. Your goals are your financial compass. Keep them visible and let them guide every money decision you make. Protecting your wealth, insurance, and financial security. You have worked hard to budget, save, invest, and build multiple income streams. But here is something that most people completely overlook until it is too late: protecting everything you have built. Because all the financial progress in the world can be wiped out overnight by one unexpected event if you have no protection in place. This is where insurance comes in. And I know insurance feels boring. It feels like you are paying for something you hope you never use. But that is exactly the point. Insurance is not an expense. It is a shield. It is the thing that stands between one bad day and complete financial devastation. Let me walk you through the types of insurance every financially responsible adult needs to seriously consider. The first and most important is health insurance. A single major medical emergency without coverage can generate bills that take decades to pay off. Medical debt is one of the leading causes of bankruptcy worldwide. Health insurance is non-negotiable no matter how young or healthy you feel right now. The second is life insurance. If anyone depends on your income, a spouse, children, aging parents, life insurance ensures that they are financially protected if something happens to you. Term life insurance is the most straightforward and affordable option for most young adults, and it provides coverage for a specific period of time. The third is income protection or disability insurance. Most people insure their car and their phone, but never think about insuring their ability to earn money. Yet your income is your single most valuable financial asset. If an illness or injury prevents you from working, disability insurance replaces a portion of your income and keeps your financial life from collapsing. The fourth is property insurance. Whether you own or rent, protecting your physical assets from theft, fire, or natural disaster is essential. Renters insurance in particular is extremely affordable and massively underutilized. The bottom line is simple. Building wealth and protecting wealth must happen simultaneously. Never leave your financial future exposed to risks that a simple insurance policy could have covered. Your financial journey starts right now. We have covered an enormous amount of ground together in this video. From understanding where your money goes, to building a budget, creating an emergency fund, destroying debt, saving automatically, investing in your future, spending wisely on assets, building multiple income streams, setting powerful financial goals, and protecting everything you build. This is the complete roadmap for managing your money like a financially intelligent adult. But here is the most important thing I want to leave you with. Knowledge alone changes nothing. Action changes everything. You could watch every personal finance video ever made, read every book, listen to every podcast, and still be completely broke if you never actually do anything with what you learn. So right now, before this video ends, I want you to commit to just one action. Not 10 things. Just one. Maybe it is opening that separate savings account today. Maybe it is sitting down tonight and tracking your last 30 days of spending. Maybe it is setting up that automatic transfer for the first time. Maybe it is simply writing down your first real financial goal with a specific number and a specific deadline. One step. That is all it takes to begin. Because here is what nobody tells you about financial success. It is not one giant leap. It is hundreds of small, consistent steps taken in the right direction over a long period of time. Every dollar saved matters. Every debt payment matters. Every investment, no matter how small, matters. It all compounds, just like interest, into something truly life-changing over time. The best time to start managing your money properly was the day you got your very first paycheck. The second best time is right now, today, in this moment. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make starting today. If this video gave you value, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel because we have so much more powerful content coming that will help you build the financial life you deserve. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message, because the best gift you can give someone is the knowledge that can change their life. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Now go take that first step. Your financial future starts right now.